The sun has finally set on the 18th day of the Kurukshetra war. The righteous Pandava brothers have survived, making them the undisputed victors. In most conflicts, the winning camp erupts in celebration. But tonight, there are no songs, no feasts, and no cheers. The fields outside Hastinapur are blanketed in a suffocating, absolute silence. King Yudhishthira surveys the miles of carnage before him. The crown he fought so long to reclaim is now his, yet his immediate reaction is a wave of crushing, paralyzing despair. If the forces of Dharma, or cosmic righteousness, definitively defeated the side of evil, why does the aftermath feel like the end of the world? In a war of absolute annihilation, the line between achieving victory and destroying the world becomes indistinguishable. To understand this despair, we have to look at the deeply personal vows that drove the Pandavas to fight in the first place. They achieved exactly what they set out to do. Grim, subdued, Bhima promised to avenge the abuse of his wife by tearing open the chest of the Kaurava prince Dushasana. On the battlefield, he executed that vow to the letter, drinking his cousin's blood in front of the horrified armies. Draupadi swore she would not tie her hair until it was washed in that exact blood. After 12 years of exile and intense humiliation, she finally ties her hair. But executing these acts of vengeance induced severe psychological whiplash. The physical reality of butchering their own family members left these long-sought moments of justice feeling sickening and hollow. Fulfilling a promise born out of deep trauma often spreads that trauma rather than curing it. We can see the scale of this destruction by looking at the military ledger. This chart shows the 18 Akshauhini, the massive military divisions gathered before the first day of fighting, split between the two opposing forces. Millions of soldiers were wiped out in just 18 days. On this scale, those massive formations of elephants and infantry disintegrate into almost nothing. The Kaurava army was completely eradicated. An entire lineage was reduced to 3 survivors, Ashwatthama, Kripacharya, and Kritavarma. But the Pandava victory column is equally catastrophic. The Pandavas secured the throne, but they lost their entire next generation. Their heirs, including the young warrior Abhimanyu and the half-demon Ghatotkacha, were killed before the war reached a communal end. The final blow occurred after the fighting technically stopped. In a midnight slaughter, the surviving Kaurava commanders murdered Draupadi's 5 sleeping sons. The Pandavas survived, but the families they thought to protect were annihilated. King Yudhishthira is now the ruler of an empire, but he inherits a throne resting on literal ashes. The grim reality of the aftermath crystallizes when Queen Gandhari, the mother of the Kauravas, arrives on the battlefield to mourn her 100 dead sons. Under the cosmic law of karma, military victories do not erase spiritual debts. Consequences always demand payment. Gandhari bypasses the Pandavas entirely. She directly confronts Lord Krishna, identifying him as the divine architect who permitted this total slaughter. In her grief, she delivers a devastating curse. Krishna's own Yadava clan will eventually turn on each other and be wiped out exactly as her sons were. Krishna does not argue. He calmly accepts the curse, acknowledging that the cycle of destruction must continue. The 18th day guaranteed that the victors would eventually pay the exact same fatal price as the defeated.